Hello and welcome back to Bookmark Chronicles. Today I'm talking about my most anticipated releases of 2021. So these are just the ones that I know of right now. There may be more as we get further into 2021, but for now I'm just going to start with the 9 that I have. The first on this list is Concrete Rose by Andy Thomas. This is a prequel to The Hate U Give where we follow Star's father Maverick. I don't know if it's while he's still in the gang as he's getting out or after he already leaves the gang. You know that I don't really read synopses. It doesn't matter. I'm gonna read it anyway. This book comes out on January 15th. The next book is The Gilded Ones. This one comes out on February 9th, and once again, I did not read the synopsis, but from my understanding, this is about a young girl who is getting ready to perform some sort of rite of passage ceremony where she has to do a blood ritual. When they draw her blood, it is gold instead of red, and apparently she's supposed to be sentenced to death. Instead, a random woman approaches her and said, "Come with me and I can take you to a safe place for girls just like you." Don't know much about it, but I can't wait to read it, and the cover is absolutely beautiful. So I've already pre-ordered this one, and hopefully I'll be able to read it as soon as it comes out. The next book is called The Echo Wife. This one comes out on February 16th, and this one sounds really interesting. It's about this woman who is like this badass scientist, and she has been able to create a clone of herself. The clone is having an affair with her husband, and then her husband ends up dead. That's all I know. That's all I want to know. I'm intrigued. The next book, which will be released on March 9th, is Act Your Age, Eve Brown by Talia Hibbert. This is the conclusion to the Brown Sisters trilogy. As you all know, I really enjoyed Get a Life, Chloe Brown, gave it 5 stars. I gave Take a Hint, Danny Brown 4 out of 5. I'm a little skeptical about this one because I don't think I'm gonna like Eve as a character, but I am very intrigued by the plot. So in this one, we follow the youngest Brown sister. From my understanding, there is this person who she doesn't really get along with, but she ends up hitting him with her car and she has to help him out, and it's sort of a hate to love situation, which is a trope that I actually like, so hopefully it's good. I've also pre-ordered this one, so I will be reading that as soon as I get it. The next book is Rule of Wolves by Leigh Bardugo. This is the conclusion to the King of Scars duology. Have I read King of Scars yet? No, but that's completely beside the point. I love everything about the Grishaverse. I'm currently rereading Six of Crows. I'm thinking about rereading Shadow and Bone. I know that I'm gonna love King of Scars because I love Nikolai. So it's only right that I pre-ordered this as well, and it is supposed to be released on March 30th. The next book, also set to release on March 30th, is called Sweethand. So this one I believe is going to be a part of a series. I think the series is called Island Bites, and it is a little bit of a romance, but I'm trying to read more Black romances. I think that will kind of help me figure out the whole romance thing. So I really don't know much about this book, but I believe I saw Ashley from Bookish Realm talking about it, and I trust her recommendations, so I'm just gonna go with it. The next book is A Psalm of Storms and Silence by Roseanne A. Brown. This is the sequel to A Song of Wraiths and Ruins. Have I read it yet? No, but it doesn't matter because I know I'm going to enjoy it. This one is supposed to come out at the end of August. So the next 2 books are supposed to be released later in the year, and they do not have covers yet. The first is Once Upon a Broken Heart by Stephanie Garber. So I did read the Carvel series. It wasn't my favorite, but I was very intrigued by the world. And one of the things that I like the most are the fates. I was hoping that she was going to release a book specifically about the fates. This apparently is a spin-off series that focuses on Jax after the events of Finale. So I don't know how much I'm gonna like it because it does sound like it's gonna be very romance heavy, which is one of the things that I struggled with during Carvel, but I am still going to give it a try. On Instagram, Stephanie Garber said that this will be out at the end of September. The last book that I have on this list is Girls of Fate and Fury, the final book in the Girls of Paper and Fire trilogy. This is supposed to come out in early November, and even though I'm a little disappointed by the way Girls of Paper and Fire ended, I do still plan to read Girls of Storm and Shadow at some point, and hopefully it gets better. I'm holding out hope that I'm gonna end up liking it and that the ending will be satisfying. So those are some of my most anticipated releases for 2021. Let me know if you're interested in any of these or if there are other books that are coming out in 2021 that you want to talk about. Otherwise, that's all I have for you, and I'll see you in the next one.